Today, we're launching Email API Benchmarks, a real-time dashboard of email provider performance to help you compare SendGrid, Resend, Postmark, and more. At Knock, we get asked all the time, which email provider should I use? But until now, comparing performance across these providers under accurate conditions was almost impossible. So we decided to analyze the billions of API requests that Knock sends to these downstream providers and aggregate the data to help you decide which service to use for your product. So let's take a look. On the overview page, you can view high-level metrics for each provider and sort by whatever criteria is important to you. From there, you can dig into high-level comparisons or jump straight into a single provider's details. We also included a section on our methodology, so you have more details on exactly how we're measuring things. But let's go ahead and jump into a provider detail page. Here, we break out more specific metrics to help you compare things like how the average API response time differs from the long tail of requests, or what the gap's like between a provider's average daily error rate and their highest observed error rate. We also display these benchmarks over our time window so that you can get more granularity into performance, and then each chart overlays the provider's public status page updates so that you can see how incidents and performance correlate. We've provided a ton of other information on this page, but let's go ahead and jump into a comparison. On each comparison page, we surface the most granular benchmarks so you can get the best picture of how these providers stack up against one another. And then you can also explore how these benchmarks change over time using the interactive charts and status information. But ultimately, we know that no engineering evaluation would be complete without understanding pricing. So we tried to create you some useful tools that might help you evaluate costs as you scale and understand the various pricing curves of each provider's plan structure. Ultimately, we built this resource because there are lots of different places you can get recommendations from on what tools to use, whether that's a Reddit thread full of vibes or by asking something like Claude Code directly. But none of those sources integrate real-world performance data, and so we hope to fill that gap using some of the observability data that we collect in Knock. We're excited to get this resource into the hands of developers and are open to any suggestions you have about what we should measure next. So take a look at this dashboard using the URL email.info and let us know what you think. Thanks for watching, and Knock on.